The first thing I'm going to say is, of course, I'm just representing a very large collection of people. Not only do we have 50 odd people at ICIJ, many based in Washington, but all of the rest of us scattered around the globe. I'm in Budapest, but our model is collaborative. We're a consortium, and we're basically the hub of a very big wheel. And this particular project, I'll get into the details, was a very big wheel indeed. But thank you. The first thing I wanted to say was what a pleasure it is to be in this company. I feel like I've come home. I mean, I was just talking to David Jackson, who I used to work with at Chicago Magazine. First job as an intern in 1983. We were outside of Studs Terkel's office, but that just to take us back. But the work that he and his colleagues at the Better Government Association, which I grew up in the Chicago area, remember them very well. And I'm introduced to the Block Club. I've been reading all of the award winners today. The City, Greg Smith's work, the kind of local reporting, and Jenny Monet's stuff. It's such a pleasure to be here and to be with you. So thank you. And the spirit of independent media, I'll kind of talk about that a little bit later, but we're very happy to be in this company in particular. We win awards off and on, and we've done just fine, but this one is special. And I also want to thank Todd Shack for his support. And I met him when he was over a professor at Ithaca. So I have a handful of minutes. I'm just going to spend a couple of them talking about two things. One is the Pandora Papers, and the other is ICIJ. And Pandora Papers was a leak of 11.9 million documents, 2.9 terabytes of stuff from 14 what you call offshore service providers. Never mind what those are, but those are the people who help you set up your offshore company. If you're a multinational, wants to avoid taxes, if you are a corrupt oligarch who's trying to hide your wealth. People are very concerned these days about, and I'm going to count on Raza to kind of cue me if I go too long, and I mean it. But people are concerned these days about, there's a picture of a yacht and the wealth of oligarchs and Vladimir Putin's wealth and all that. And as well, they should be. But what's important to remember about the Pandora Papers is this is not our first rodeo. So we have been doing this, long before I got there, since 2013. This is really a culmination of basically a decade's worth of work. A lot of it on the offshore system. And what I think this crowd needs to understand is the offshore system. We're not enough time to get into the details, but it is precisely an anti-democratic system. It is a system to avoid the rule of law wherever you happen to be, to hide wealth, and to avoid accountability from prosecutors, courts, civil, from tax authorities, you name it. So ICIJ has been doing this since 2013, since what was called the offshore leaks at the time, and been exposing things through Swiss leaks, with HSBC was at the center of that. Lux leaks, this was the big four accounting firms, was featured there. Panama Papers was basically everybody, but that was a very popular offshore firm called Mossack Fonseca in Panama City. That's where we revealed a lot of the Vladimir Putin network for the first time. That's back in 2016. Paradise Papers was another offshore provider called Appleby, a high-end outfit that served multinationals like Nike and Apple. So again, I think it's important to sort of understand that this was, and then Pandora Papers was sort of like the capstone. For whatever reason, this one came in. This was 14 offshore service providers from all over the world, Singapore to Panama City to Wyoming, as you mentioned, and this one shows the ubiquity of this system. And I guess what I want to sort of make, the point I want to make about this, I guess we're going to get into the whole problem, or the good news and bad news about collaborative journalism. But I think what I was thinking about, what I wanted to sort of, the message I wanted to kind of convey here is this. I noticed that I was looking up the Izzy Awards, and I have Stone, he's a hero of all of ours and all that. And I noticed it started around 2008, 2009. And I would suggest to this audience that that was a different world. And that was a time when people forget that the newspaper revenues in the U.S. newspaper revenues industry peaked in 2006. Hasn't been that long. And we've been witnessing this massive collapse of journalistic infrastructure, stable platforms of journalistic production, as a great scholar named Professor Gandor of Columbia has put it. And those have been collapsing. And as Raza mentioned, local news has been the sort of the biggest casualty. What we are doing at ICIJ is basically making the best of a bad situation. That's how I see it. What we do is bring people together to create and amplify and basically blow up the impact. And I'm going to get into the details, I guess, in the question and answer period. But I guess my message to you is first to say thank you, and also secondly to say that it's at this point when journalism is in such peril and our business model is collapsed. It's important for all of us to do things like this, to support each other, to work together, and essentially to collaborate. So for the good of journalism, but also for the good of democracy. So I think my 8 minutes are up, but I do want to say, I do want to extend the heartfelt thanks of ICIJ and all of our partners around the world, where Pandora Papers had 600 reporters, 150 news organizations, and working together, we're better. So thank you.